Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks, the channel where I walk you around cities and hikes and nature trails and all that sort of stuff. And I point out interesting things that I see that I think are interesting, and hopefully you find interesting as well. We are in Strasbourg, France today. I didn't walk earlier. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you haven't, you can probably find it on the citywalksvirtualtravel.com website. Today it is a Monday and it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius at about 3 p.m. And Strasbourg is a city of canals. If you really want to know, I throw out some other facts about it in the earlier walks, but here's one of the canals. You can see that the current is quite strong. It's also known for its old center, and it is absolutely beautiful. Here's one of the smaller churches. In the previous walk, we start out at the cathedral, go inside, and then walk from there. And we're on the other side of the island, kind of, from it. This is where we ended our last walk, so that's a reference point for you. We're going to walk back around the other side of the island, sort of making a circumference, and then ducking into any place that looks remotely interesting. I'm going to flip this camera around real quick. 1, 2, 3. My name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, your co-discoverer. That's the important part because, like I said, I like to find little details, and part of that is I'm not an expert in this city, not a tour guide in the traditional sense, but I am your proxy walker, and I will guide you through this particular walk and give you as much information as I can. So I'm going to flip you around again. Alrighty. I'd like to give you a warning, so if you're on a treadmill, you don't get whirled away and thrown off balance. One of the things I've noticed we have noticed, is this design style, which is obviously quite old, where they have these very high, steep pitched roofs, and then they've got a lot of dormers. This one seems to be vents on a church to have circulation maybe, but a lot of them will have actual windows, and looks like there's residences inside or rooms inside. I want to thank our Patreon supporters for helping support this channel. It may not seem like a lot, $5 a month, but it really does help me make these walks and encourages me, keeps me going, letting me know that these walks are valuable. Thanks to everybody that's done a one-time contribution as well. I know subscribing isn't for everybody. And you can find links to Ko-fi or Coffee, PayPal, and Patreon in the YouTube description. You got a little bit of a national police emergency. This is Petite Rue de Vieux Marché au Vin. So, old wine works, I guess, old winemakers. We're going to duck into the city a bit to see some of what makes Strasbourg famous. It is a very bike-friendly town. It looks like you can actually take some Segway tours here as well. Traveling Mel, my wife and sons have done that in Alsace and had a great time. Love their tram network. One of the things about the city that I've noticed, and I commented on this on an earlier walk, is every street is a temptation to walk down. Every street has something interesting or unique that calls me to go explore. I love it. Like just this little pocket park here. Tiny little park, has a little fountain, some trees, but man, it makes a difference, doesn't it? Now I know I've said that this is known for their medieval architecture and stuff, and here we have some over here. but you get a lot of modern stuff mixed in, at least on the outer edges. And it's a good reminder that this is not a theme park. It's a place where people live. They live their lives, they work, they raise kids, do all the stuff, ride their bikes, tolerate tourists like me. And not every building can be 800 years old, 500 years old, but a lot of them can. Now, these are a little more modern than I remember. Look at that. See, down here you get into some older buildings. But there's an interesting structure down here that I want to find out what it is. So we're going to continue on this little pathway, which has been painted with just some rough splotches, almost like sponge painting. But it makes a difference, man. It's kind of neat. Something so simple. You know, you get a 60s era, probably, high-rise there. Part of why I want to come down here is the crowds are down here, so that must surely mean something's interesting. Also, this neat steel and glass structure. This flying staircase. There's the Cathedral Tower, which, as I pointed out, was the tallest building in Europe for about 200 or 300 years. Look at this building. I'm just going to say building. I love this bit right here. This is pretty cool. Looks like a tram station. Whoops. This way. And we're gonna, whoops, missed a step there. Cross over. I kind of wonder about some of the architectural risks people, cities, corporations take. And anytime you do something new, try something new or different, it's a risk, right? And that's how we kind of advance. Some risks pay off, some risks are failures. And the failures, I'm going to cross over, often get torn down, and sometimes they maintain their existence anyway. That building back there, I have to wonder, looks like it came around in the late 70s, early 80s, this building. I don't know what that says. Kleine Metzig. In any case, how many of these buildings were considered ugly in the time, and because they lasted for whatever reason, cultural inertia, whatever reason, they're still around, and now we consider them beautiful. And will that building back there that was metal and glass in another 50 years be considered a classic? Love the ironwork. Trying to stay out of the bike lanes. Let's go down this way. It's a pretty church. The green copper bell tower up there. Striking. Ooh. Like a good cargo bike. 2 cargo bikes. Now this church isn't really spectacular, but man, you add in this little, I guess, shield this parking lot with a fence and some trees, and all of a sudden it's pretty nice. Gives that element of peace and calm that you would think you'd want in a church or any place of religious contemplation. The smell of marijuana is strong there as well. That'll give you some religious contemplation. Love these trees. Keep reading articles about how they do studies and keep finding that trees in urban places have dramatic psychological but also physical benefits. For instance, in heat waves, ER visits are cut in half between places with trees and places without trees. Violence is down, I think I read. It's just a massive difference. I'm going to take that violence thing back. Can't remember if that's something I read or something I was thinking. So I'm not going to claim it. Still, I like them. That's probably enough. If anybody knows what these sort of porches that are stuck out here like this are called, I'd love to know. I'm sure there's a specific term for them. Here's some up top. And a glass. I don't know if you can see it, but there's, maybe it's not glass, maybe it's just silver. The dome, onion dome at the top. Oh, look at these two. And this dome over here. Now this is much later than the Middle Ages, obviously, but still beautiful, still impressive. Place Broglie. It's like a class is getting a tour. This just trees, and these have been cut back obviously, but still a little greenery makes a difference. Alrighty, I just want to point out there's some people out on their balcony up here enjoying the view. I think I'm going to go down 1 block on the left there. Just another sign that these places are lived in or used. Cafe Broglie. Oh, looks classic. Rue Brûlée. This wasn't a mistake, but you never know until you go. Craftsman at work. The Hotel de Ville, City Hall. I'm not sure if there's a special day today. In the US, it'd probably be Memorial Day. I think it's Memorial Day. But a lot of school groups out, a lot of young people here on tours of some sort. Kind of neat to see. Le Petit Marie, Le Bistro. All right. Let's go down this way. Ooh, look at this door and this art here. Interesting. And this door, this green metal. It's the kind of detail you can find when taking a walk. Impasse des Charpentiers is off to the right. Impasse, I think, means dead end. And sure enough, look at that. Well, here's some more street art, which is fun. A variety of. See all of these 8-bit tile pieces around Europe. I don't know if it's a style or if it's a singular artist. This old wood. Little bookstore, children's books maybe. Let's go this way a little bit. Another one of these kidmobiles, Backfiets.nl. I love walking along and hearing people speaking French. Ooh, look at this place. Got tiling on the roof. I guess those are called shingles. Pretzel Airlines. It's German for pretzel. Looks like just looks like a t-shirt shop, just a brand shop. Love these little plazas with their cafes and their apartments overhead. So fun. Look at these palaces. This is awesome. Another canal here. Let's follow this one down a little ways. Check out some of these bridges. These look like fancy residences. I like it. People with their bikes locked up for the day. I feel fairly safe leaving my bike locked during the day here outside. Not with my panniers and that sort of thing in there, but just a general bike. I don't think I'd leave one locked up at night. There's somebody and their little dog sitting by the river or canal, or I'm not really sure what this is. Look at that. Giant building, but then a classic old one too. So some of these buildings are called half-timbered. And I wonder if there's a difference between that and Tudor style. If you know, let me know. Ooh. Yes. I think we're going to go down another block. You can see the backside of the cathedral over there. This kind of Romanesque church. I guess you would call that Romanesque. I'm not good with the knowledge of the architecture. Some people might call it architectural knowledge. Looks like we've got some unhoused or homeless people down here tented up. Ooh, look at the barges. Classic riverboat style there. We saw boats like that all the way up the Loire in various places. Not often that big, not often that large. Look at that red building. It's sizable. A lot of them people were living on. These look maybe commercial, like restaurants, etc. Babboe, BABBOE.com for that bike. See a lot more of those front loaded cargo bikes. I guess you front loaded, the cargo's in front instead of in the back. I've never ridden one. I believe the ones now are electric. All right, which direction? I think we're gonna make a right. Watch out for bikes because I'm walking in the bike lane. Oh yeah, this looks like some good stuff. Which direction? Guess we'll continue on this way. Love these little Cocker Spaniels they have here. Longer snouts. Another little Place Saint-Etienne. Somebody with a Labrador in the fountain down there. This is Place Alexandra Bureau, aka Rob. Look at the woodwork on this one. The corners of everything, carvings. I love that. I've never seen that before. Rue des Frères. That's what we're on. Things tend to shut down here a little bit between 2 and 4. Seems like. Restaurants tend to open around 7. Sometimes a little earlier. It's like a grocery store. I just love the fact that this is a grocery store. I'm gonna duck back here because something's going on. Oh. Look at this. Tucked in here. How would you ever know? Amongst medieval, half-timbered buildings. I love it. How can you not love this, right? This is so idyllic that I'm gonna have to take a picture. Sorry. All right. This is Rue des Frères again. Not sure what this building is on the left here. Game shop. Look at this. I think it's a seminary off to the left. Cave de Turkheim up there. Now, I learned recently that cave means cellar. And I think specifically it's maybe a wine cellar, but I'm not sure. It's got a bunch of wine in there, so I'm pretty much more sure now. Excuse me. And here we are, back at the cathedral. My son brought up a point maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm losing track of time because every day is just making miles and pedaling and enjoying the sights and sounds and tastes of France as I talk over this jazz music in the background, playing out into the public sphere of influence. Anyway, I think it was in Tours. He said, imagine being a peasant, someone who is illiterate and has only known the farm, maybe walked a few miles away, but that's about it. And you come to a city in the 1600s, 1500s, and you see this. What would go through your mind? And I kind of think, if not mistaken, that's one of the major reasons they built them, was to project power and authority. And there's a lot of elements to that, but I'm glad they did in the end, because dog, got a little bowl, got a little toy is carrying with it, because you end up with these beautiful, massive structures, these testaments to the common will, or it could be construed as majority will anyway. Whether it was wise at the time or not, I don't know, but we are certainly the beneficiaries of it. So that's going to be the end of our walk today. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this and the earlier walk here in Strasbourg. If you watched that one, you will have seen that the line to get into the cathedral, which is free, but you have to go through a quick security check of your bag, was way up here to the corner and around, and now it's much smaller. We did do a walkthrough inside, so if you want to see that, check out that other walk on citywalksvirtualtours.com. Otherwise, what a beautiful city. We will see you again soon. Until then, keep on stepping.